So anyway, and then of course, Raúl Castro said he was going to free 53 political prisoners. For weeks, we didn't know he had freed not even one. Nobody knew where the 53 people. Later we found out that of the 53 he was going to free, 14 were free like a year before. And he counted them among the 53. And of those 53 that he freed, some of them are back in jail again. In fact, in 2014, they arrested in Cuba almost 9,000 people. So in 2014, Cuba was repressing more people than ever before. 2014. And of course, all the things that we gave away the store, and Raúl Castro said in Havana, communism will last 500 years in Cuba. We're not changing anything. Everything continues to be the same. And so anyway, and then of course, Obama engaged in the most shameful diplomacy in the history of the United States. It's called the sperm diplomacy. So Senator Patrick Healy from Vermont, hello Chiqui, which is also the same Vermont that elected Senator, what's his name, Bernie Sanders, who now wants to run for president, and he's a truly communist, you know. He thinks the Democratic Party is a rightist party. Anyway, so he goes to Havana, and then the wife of this spy, Gerardo Hernandez, who herself is a secret police spy, secret police as well, Adriana Perez, the wife of Gerardo Hernandez, she wanted to get pregnant because she's in her 40s, and the administration Barack Obama, Castro asked for that. We gave him that as well. Of course, first Castro asked if he could come over here to go to bed with her husband in prison in California, and the widow said, no, that doesn't happen in the US, we don't do that here. And so then the next thing, okay, we can send a frozen sperm to Panama and have her artificially inseminated there. The superpower, United States, the superpower engaging in this revolting, abominable sperm diplomacy? How can the Russians respect the US? How can any country in the world respect the United States when we are sending a spy who was responsible for the assassination of 4 Americans of Cuban descent in 1996 when they were flying Brothers to the Rescue plane, and this spy gave information so our 4 Americans were shot by 2 MiGs from Cuba in international waters, and we are worried because the wife of this spy with 2 life sentences needs to get pregnant? I mean, this is, in the annals of US diplomacy, this has to be the most shameful episode in the entire history of this nation. The most shameful, disgusting, revolting episode in our entire history. And who's responsible for that? The traitor that lives in the White House. That's who did that. Anyway, let me stop talking about Cuba because I get very excited, as you can tell. You know, I've been an anti-communist all my life, and it just saddens me to death that in 2008, the United States elected the first Marxist president and hidden radical Muslim in our entire history. In an election that was massive fraud. You remember Acorn, right? The Marxist Acorn? That falsified tens of thousands of ballots in all the battleground states. And I have news for you. In 2012, he committed fraud. We elected McCain in 2008, and we elected Mitt Romney, and both elections were stolen. And you can go to our website, Bear Witness Central, and see all the information there. There was a poll done 2 weeks before the election, right here in Florida. I know because I was writing a book at the time, Obama Romney. And the Miami Herald, which endorsed Obama twice, the Tampa Tribune, and another entity did a poll 2 weeks before the election, and Romney was winning Florida by 57%. And he only got 49.5. 2 weeks before the election, from 57% to 49.5. Is that accidental? No, that is called massive fraud. And he was winning in Virginia by 2 points. He was winning Colorado by 1 point. Even in North Carolina, he was winning by 10 points, and he barely carried the state with 1 or 2 points. So they did all kinds of cheating. As an example, in Ohio, The Columbus Dispatch, which is one of the largest newspapers in Ohio, they say that in Ohio alone, 1 out of 5 voters are ineligible to vote because they're either dead or they don't live there. 1 out of every 5. And of course, we have statistical miracles in Cleveland, Ohio, and in Philadelphia. Statistical miracles. 100% in the black precincts voted for Barack Obama. 100%. Not even a demented black pressed the wrong button. That has to be a miracle from God, you know, for that thing to have happened. So, and we have a lot of, we have thousands of, not thousands, but at least, 50, 60 articles on election fraud in our website. In fact, we have a whole section called election fraud that you can see in there. And in my book here, I talk about election fraud as well. Let us hope that in 2016, we won't have election fraud. Let us pray to God that we won't. Anyway, what I wanted to talk a little bit here today is about the Islamic radicalism in the world. Well, let me start talking about Barack Obama's brother, and then I'm going to pass you some pictures so you can look at it con carácter evolutivo, so you can bring it back, because I use this all the time. Well, here's Barack Obama's brother, dressed with the costume of Hamas, okay? He has a scarf. On one side is Palestine, no Israel. And Hamas has a saying called from the river to the sea, Hamas, Hamas. We had a Hamas demonstration right here in Miami, in the Bayfront Park, when the war between Israel and the terrorists in Gaza. We had a bunch of Hamas supporters right here in Miami, Bayfront Park, right in front of the John F. Kennedy Memorial Flame. And what were they singing? From the river to the sea, Hamas, Hamas. Right here in Miami. Well, Barack Obama is part of that. If he had been in Miami, he would be singing with them as well. And on the other side of the scarf, he has a picture of Jerusalem, and in Arabic it says, Jerusalem is ours. Now, this is the eldest brother of Barack Obama. His name is Malik Obama. And he came to the wedding of Barack Obama with Michelle. I have his picture here, when he came to the wedding. And Barack Obama, here's the brother, and this is John Barack Obama when he got married to Michelle Obama. That's the brother, Malik Obama. And Barack Obama wrote actually he didn't write it, but Bill Ayers wrote his Dreams from My Father, but he gave me information, and Bill Ayers wrote it for him. And he said in Dreams from My Father, I am so proud of Malik Obama, who converted himself to Islam, because he used to be a Christian. And now he can walk firmly on the ground, and he has reaffirmed his African identity. So meaning, if you're a Christian in Africa, you have no identity, right? You have to be a Muslim to have an identity. And he said, now he goes around saying that he wants to get rid in Kenya of the poisoning European influence. Poisoning European influence. And Barack Obama thought that's wonderful that brother said that. Of course, we keep talking about that book, right? When he went to Occidental College at the age of 18, Barack Obama said, who are my friends here? The Marxist professors and the militant blacks, militant Hispanics, and his room was 2 Pakistanis. And he had a ring, says, Allah Grande, no? What do you say that? Glory to Allah, right? Anyway, so anybody that would have read Dreams from My Father could not have voted for Barack Obama. Just like anybody who read Mein Kampf, written by Hitler, could not have voted for Hitler in 1933. But unfortunately, people didn't read Dreams from My Father. He even talked about the Europeans. He insulted the Europeans in the book. Barack Obama went to Europe when he was young, in his 20s, and he said, I hated Europe. These are not my people. Between the Europeans and myself, there's a wall that's divided us. That's an insult to the Europeans. And then the highlight of his trip was the trip he took from Madrid to Barcelona, and he had an African next to him. That was the highlight of his entire trip. He said, London is beautiful, Paris is beautiful, Germany is beautiful, but these are not my people. And then Europeans are clapping for Obama when he goes there. And they're not his people, and there's a wall between him and the Europeans. Anyway, Dreams of My Father is just like that. I just have to skip that. But I want to go back to Barack Obama's brother. This brother is a terrorist. He works with the Sudanese government, which is a Muslim Brotherhood government that has assassinated 400,000 Christians. He works with the dictator of that country, which is called Omar al-Bashir, and he's wanted by the International Court of Justice of the United Nations for genocide and crimes against humanity. You don't think this would be news in the United States, that Barack Obama works with this guy? There's not a single newspaper in the United States that have said that, not even Fox News. Isn't that strange? Not to say that, do we have freedom of the press in the United States? Do we still have freedom of the press here or not? But the London newspapers talk about it. And websites talk about it. But not a single newspaper in the United States dare to say that the president's brother is a terrorist that supports Hamas and supports the brutal, genocidal government of Sudan that has assassinated 400,000 Christians. Not a single newspaper in the US has ever said that, ever. And the vice president of the Constitutional Court in Egypt said on Cairo TV, Malik Obama is the architect of the finances of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. And that is why the President of the United States hates us, meaning the new government of Egypt that is fighting the Muslim Brotherhood and fighting the caliphate that now has established a province in Egypt, in the Sinai Peninsula. All right, so she denounced the president's brother and said that is why Barack Obama's policy put Morsi in power for the Muslim Brotherhood. That is why he did everything possible to get rid of Hosni Mubarak, our ally for more than 35 years. And that is why he did what he's doing throughout the world. Anyway, I'm going to pass this so you can see it. I want to point out here that Malik Obama is speaking in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan, and right next to him is the president of Sudan, that assassin who killed 400,000 Christians. So I'll pass that out so you can see it, and then just give it back. Don't take it away. Okay. Let me tell you, the president has the same ideology as his brother. He's no different at all. I just want to say something here very quickly, because time really goes fast here. Well, I was speaking, remember, on Saturday, 2.5 hours, right? Without stopping. All right. I want to mention to you this report, which is called How America Switched Sides in the War of Terror, by the Citizens Commission on Benghazi, and this was published April 22nd, 2014. Roger Aronoff, which I know Agustin knows him very well, right here, is his friend. By the way, Agustin, some of people know him. This is a distinguished person that does so many documentaries on communism, and he's lived in Washington most of his life, knows Roger Aronoff, knows the founder of AIM, which now is dead, and now his son has it, I was talking to him the other day. Anyway, Roger Aronoff put this committee together, made up of 17 patriotic Americans, such as Admiral James Lyon, 4-star Admiral retired, head of the Pacific Fleet, number 2 of the US Navy, General McInerney, 3-star General retired Air Force, who is a contributor to Fox News, Claire Lopez, a CIA retired director who writes against Obama every day, General Paul Vallely, Major General Paul Vallely, which Rolando and I met him in Myrtle Beach, and so did Trevor. He was there speaking to us there as well. We were in that conference a year ago. People like that work for the Defense Department, CIA, all of them retired people, but they had contacts in the Pentagon, contacts in the CIA, so I mean, they know what's happening. And this report, this is the saddest part of all. Trey Gowdy has this report. The leaders of the Republican Party have this report, because Roger works with these people, and all these generals and admirals, they work with the members of Congress, and they know what the president has done, which I'll tell you very briefly. And I advise all of you to go to AIM.org and read the report. You can access it from the email, and we wrote an article on this. I wrote an article for Bear Witness, and then Roger put it in his website as well. An article from Bear Witness that I wrote on this very same thing. And well, just to tell you what happened, Libya had this horrible dictator by the name of Gaddafi, who was assassinating US citizens. Remember, he planted the bomb on that Pan American airplane that flew over Scotland, killing almost 300 citizens, including young people from New York University. He was assassinating our soldiers in Germany. He was planting bombs where a soldier went to drink beer in Germany, killing our soldiers. And you know, Ronald Reagan got tired of this, and he ordered our planes from England to bomb the palace to assassinate Gaddafi. And that's what we need to do each and every time we get attacked by another country. Assassinate the leaders. And then the problem is gone if you kill the leaders. All right, so Gaddafi wasn't killed, he was injured. Several of his kids died. You know, they have lots of kids there. When you're a Muslim, you have several wives, lots of kids. Some of his children actually died in that air attack. From that moment on, Gaddafi ceased being an enemy of the United States after what happened to his palace and to some of his kids that died. And then when George W. Bush was president, he made an accord with George W. Bush, gave away the uranium that he was trying to build, no more nuclear weapons, and then he became an ally of the United States in the war of terror, believe it or not, became an ally. So why, in February of 2011, did the Libyan Muslim Brotherhood and Saudi Sharia, Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, and all those terrorists